Good morning, everyone, and we are back with our second renewal hearing of the day, and this is Sandoval Academy of Bilingual Education. So, good morning. Thanks, everyone here in the audience that came. We appreciate your time and effort. Looking forward to what you all have to say. So what we will do is the Charter School Division will, is that going to be you, Lucy? Will give their report and their recommendation. And if there is any entity that's here that wants to offer tribal input, there's time allotted in the agenda always for that, just in case. And then the school will have their opportunity to present whatever you want to, and then we'll go to public comment, and then it'll be our questions. Okay?
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks. So Lucy, whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Good morning, Chair Gibson and Commissioners. As you know, my name is Lucy Valenzuela, Authorizing Practices Administrator for the Charter Schools Division. I'm here to provide the CSD PED evaluation for Sandoval Academy of Bilingual Education. SABE opened its doors in 2015 with the Public Education Commission as its authorizer. This is their second renewal with the PEC. The mission of SABE is to enable students to maintain their native language, reconnect with their heritage language, or discover a new enriching language. Students attain Spanish and English fluency and literacy through two-way immersion, which will expand their worldview and educational and career opportunities. Ms. Jackie Rodriguez is the school's executive director, and Ms. Felicitas Reyes is the school's principal. Both leaders have over 20 years of education experience combined and are strong and proud advocates of bilingual education. The CSD visited the school on Tuesday, October 8th, 2024. The renewal visit team consisted of myself as team lead, Ted Farnath, and Kelly Rankin. The Charter Schools Division recommends that Sandoval Academy of Bilingual Education be renewed for a term of 5 years without conditions. The recommendation is based on the record of the school's performance over the course of the contract term, the renewal application, which highlights adult actions and programs in the service of student progress, and verification of those programs and adult actions during our renewal visit and annual visits. SABE has been designated as a traditional school for the last 2 years through NM-VISTAS. Additionally, the PED has published the Spring 2024 assessment results. The school's VISTA designation is traditional with a score of 56.4. The school's proficiencies are 46% ELA, 37% science, and 20% in math. This indicates that the school saw some gains in ELA and math, but they did see a small decrease in science. Their ELA and math proficiencies for English learners exceeded both the district and the state. As a reminder, according to the PED and NM-VISTAS webpage, point totals from school year 22-23 and school year 23-24 cannot be compared due to changes in business rules. The school's growth and performance suggests that the school is making gains from year to year. For the finance and organizational ratings, throughout its contract, SABE had 4 repeat findings of working to meet or does not meet ratings. One involved indicator 2C, responsive to adult audit findings, where the school had a repeat finding in 2021 plus a new finding. However, they took immediate actions and were rated meet standard in the last 2 years. For indicator 3C, reporting requirements, the executive director developed a successful tracking system, earning a meet standard rating in 23-24. For indicator 4B, attendance and retention, they received a working to meet rating in 21-22 and 22-23 school years, with SABE missing the state attendance rate by less than 5%. Efforts like home visits, incentives, and parent meetings have been implemented to improve attendance. Part B ratings. The school's ratings for Part B are as follows. They met the standards for mission-specific goals, education program, equity and identity, and other performance framework indicators. They were rated demonstrate substantial progress under student outcomes, financial compliance, and governance responsibilities. The school has also submitted requests for an enrollment cap increase and school relocation that will be implemented in the next contract term. In conclusion, leadership and teachers at SABE are committed to making SABE a true bilingual focused school in the Rio Rancho community. Many students commute to the school because of the robust bilingual program they offer. Students are extremely satisfied and happy at SABE. During the student focus group, one student mentioned that they enjoy attending SABE because it gives them the opportunity to learn Spanish and not become a yo no sabo kid, which is referred to an I don't know kid, meaning that many of their peers or others are not fluent in Spanish. Families are also very happy with the educational experience that their students are receiving. Many families that are at SABE have known Ms. Rodriguez from her time at a local Albuquerque charter school, so they know her commitment to bilingual education. Many adult actions have taken place to increase proficiencies, correct audit findings, and all other findings that the CSD has rated as working to meet or does not meet throughout their performance framework. It is for these reasons that the CSD recommends the school be renewed for a 5-year contract term without conditions.
Guessing.
If anybody is here to speak on behalf of a tribal entity, will you please raise your digital hand?
Raising their hand.
All of our official tribal representatives seem to be in the room and in the kindergarten. We don't have any.
Thank you. Whenever you're ready.
Good morning. Good morning, Chair Gibson, commissioners, and our charter school division team. I am Jackie Rodriguez, the head of school, last name Rodriguez. Ms. Reyes, I'll let her introduce herself.
Buenos dias. My name is Felicitas Reyes. Last name is Reyes. I am the principal and the special services director at SABE.
And I wanted to just add, between Mrs. Reyes and myself, we have 62 years of education combined. I wish it was just 20 because that means I'd be really young still.
I ballparked it.
Some members that we have as part of our charter team or our school team with us is Miss Becky Torres, our governing board chair. We have Miss Ashley Wolfel and Mr. Mike Vigil, our business management representatives. And we also have Sue Fox, our legal representative, and many students and parents and community that are here to speak during public comment. So I was fortunate to join Sandoval Academy in 2017, which was the 3rd year of its charter. I'm a big my passion lies with bilingual and multicultural education. Growing up as a child in northern New Mexico who was not offered the opportunity to learn Spanish, I fit our mission, and I know Lucy already read our mission, but I'm a heritage learner. I'm a student that was not offered the opportunity to learn both her languages in a bilingual state. And my passion grew when I chose to become an educator in New Mexico. I have worked in the state for 27 years, or 28, 27 years. And SABE is my new home, which I take a lot of pride in, and a lot of time and effort is put into this school. The story starts with SABE being, and I think it's important to state that because our video will reintroduce our founders. It was a brother-sister team that lived in the city of Rio Rancho that wanted the opportunity of bilingualism in their school, in their city. So Mr. Brennan DeVette is actually still on our board. He's our governing board vice chair. He's a bilingual educator and a parent of 2 young ladies. Ms. Gonzalez is a bilingual educator and parent, and I actually worked with her son in a dual language program that I started with a traditional district that has since no longer has that program. But you'll see in their messaging there that everyone deserves a bilingual education regardless of what language they speak. In New Mexico, it's important to maintain the language because the minority language is always in danger of being lost. And when you lose language, you lose the culture as well. Speaking to our scholar demographics, SABE, we have a very diverse group of students and staff. If you notice, that quick graphic just kind of points out that we have over 84% Hispanic students, 23% English language learners, and over 42% of economically disadvantaged. If you look at our traditional districts around us, we have a higher percentage of students at risk that we serve within our school system. And with that does come the challenges, but also the successes in serving students, especially our English language learners that are bilingual and emergent or simultaneous bilinguals that are learning both English and Spanish from home, and they come into our school and it's a natural flow for them to continue learning into languages. We proudly serve families from Rio Rancho, Bernalillo, Algodones, Albuquerque, Jemez Pueblo, Placitas, and Santa Ana Pueblo. We continue to try to expand our reach to other smaller communities around us, and we are constantly in the recruitment mode where we are trying to fill our seats and continue to see that enrollment grow for us. Great staff makeup as well. We have, during our term, we've had teachers from Mexico, Peru, Honduras, Ecuador, Chile, Spain, and of course the US. We find that a huge success for our students to be learning from native speakers of the Spanish language, but it also builds the family that we have at SABE, and that's one of the biggest highlights of SABE is we are a family, and we have conversations of the differences in Spanish from everybody's different region, even from northern New Mexico, because if you know northern New Mexico, you know our Spanish it has its uniqueness. 12 of our 16 classroom support teachers, so over 75% of our staff hold their TESOL. They're teaching English to students of other languages and or bilingual endorsements. We continue to encourage our bilingual teachers and our teachers new to us to take part, and we use title funds to support the teachers that would like to get their TESOL endorsement specifically. Student outcomes, Lucy did speak about some of our gains, and I'll kind of hit some of those things as well. We're continuing to develop bilingual and biliterate kids. So everything we do in our day-to-day is teach in English and Spanish. The way our day is broken down is students receive English language arts with science and social studies within that, and math in English. Our Spanish is Spanish language arts with science and social studies, the content taught within that. We use something called guided language acquisition design, which is units that are built around science and social studies that build language skills or ways students can learn the second language to cover all the content. She spoke a lot to this, so I don't want to repeat everything, but we have exceeded the standards in our mission-specific goal every year. We created, if I think Chair Gibson was on that team 5 years ago when we renewed, we actually have a teacher and staff developed biliteracy trajectory tool that uses research from WIDA and the Center for Applied Linguistics and Dual Language Education of New Mexico that actually helps guide our measurement of how students are learning both English and Spanish. We use that trajectory tool at the beginning of the year, middle of the year, and end of the year to gauge that every child is growing in both languages. So it's not strictly proficiency, reading proficiency, math proficiency, it's also language proficiency that we focus our work on. Again, we're designated traditional in New Mexico Vistas for the last 3 years. Were identified as a school, and I lost it right there in the, I'll get to it. Annual growth in both ELA and math. We know it's not enough, but we continue our efforts in supporting our staff to support our students to continue to see those rates go up of proficiency, but most importantly, also look at growth over time. We know science is definitely an area of focus for us because we see that it seems as if the attention has been put on math and reading. We will be implementing a progress monitoring assessment with NWEA to include science next year, so we can start gauging and using that data during our professional learning community meetings when our teachers are collaborating and talking about test scores and student data to make sure we're considering that as well. We surpassed the state and local districts, and when I say local districts, we look at both Rio Rancho Public Schools and Bernalillo Public Schools, because our demographics are very different from both, but that gives us a good gauge. But as far as our English language learners, our economically disadvantaged, our Hispanic students, and in some cases, our students with disabilities, we are exceeding, if not both districts, at least one of the districts, and either meeting or exceeding the state expectation or the state levels. This is English language arts, and the arrows just pointing out that growth over the years. You do see that increase every year, and that's 20. Can't see the years, that 21, 22, and 23, or 23, 24.
The first one is 21, 22, 22, 23.
So 21, 22, and then 23. So that's last year's included in there. So we do see growth across those graphs. Bar graphs are the subgroups of growth. This is the state assessments in English language arts compared to our local districts. So you'll see that teal band in the first graph. It does show our Hispanic growth. The next arrow shows our students with disabilities and English language learners and our economically disadvantaged. I also want to remind the commissioners that we're teaching in 2 languages. So not only are our kids taking these tests in English, they are learning in Spanish, and they are making these gains and showing these results. Here's our math. Couple things to point out: our students with disabilities, our English language learners, and our economically disadvantaged. And then for 23, 24, you see the same. Our Hispanic students are students with disabilities, and our English language learners. In science, of course, we want to present it and not just hide it, but we do have some work to do. But again, our hope and focus is to really use some data to guide our development of our units, and specifically hit our science and social studies content areas, so that we can make sure that we're addressing that concern in those tests. Also want to remind the commissioners, we're a very small school. So for our 5th and 8th graders, last year, that would have been about 45 students that took that test. So those scores are hard to kind of swallow, because it takes a couple kids that may not do well in the test, and it really affects our scores.
So the 3 goals of our dual language program, we emphasize the importance of bilingualism and the developing of high levels of proficiency in both languages. Also developing biliteracy, having the expectation and high academic achievement in both languages. And we do have students that are at or above grade level in their achievement in both languages. And one of the biggest things is also the multicultural competence, where the children are learning or demonstrating a positive attitude and behavior towards different cultures, because we all come from different parts of Latin America and our backgrounds. So we all have different traditions and customs, and then also here living in the US. So we really push that with the students. And the next one is really emphasizing the importance and the research in dual language programs. Part of our professional learning communities is also maintaining the teachers informed of best practices in the development of the 2 languages. Also, the research in dual language programs, we do make sure that our teachers are professionally trained in this area, and also knowing of the best practices and working with the students to have a stronger academic outcomes for the students. And some of this information was already mentioned as far as our finance and governance of the school. We've had 0 findings in the last audit that our school went through. We had minor findings previously, but those were addressed immediately. And then also consistent membership in our governing board. These are parents, retired educators, and one of them is the founder of the school. And also, we just received the Public Charter Schools New Mexico Excellence Award for our governance, for our governing board.
So one point, this has been a huge move for me. That's kind of pun intended. So we have presented the amendments or for consideration for our next charter is we have moved into a lease purchase agreement to move to a new facility. This is huge for us because the current building is under a traditional lease and our facility is not in the best of locations. It's not horrible, but it's not great. It is in a commercial area where we do share a building with US Cotton, a movie production company, and another nonprofit in the building. We house 25,000 square feet where we have very little room to grow. Our new building is closer to 30,000 square feet with room to expand. It's on our own parcel of acreage, and it's right across from the police office. And it's also next to a park and some other opportunities for partnerships with the local gym and some other things that we have in mind. You all are very aware of the challenges of facilities. It's even more challenging, and it's one of our largest challenges at SABE. We do not receive House Bill 33 funding because the city is at bond capacity. So we just get SB 19. So we've had to plan, and we were fortunate to find an investor that we're able to move forward with the lease purchase agreement for our next term. We also hope to expand our program we're going to apply for the grant for the pre-kindergarten option. And this building is just more conducive to learning. It's built out specifically as a school, a total remodel on the inside, an increase of about 6 classrooms. It has a small multi-purpose room, so it's still lacking in some of the resources that we absolutely need, and we hope our legislators continue to support us as they have in the last 2 or 3 legislative sessions. The other thing that it will allow us to have is a playground. You can ask every kiddo behind me, and everybody would say yes, they would love a playground. Right now, that's in the works, and we do have some set aside funds for that. But at our current facility, it was when I came in, Chair Gibson, you might remember, we were not in great financial standing. We have since turned that around. We have built up our school population. When I came in 2017, we had 85 kids, 82 kids. We're at 222. We are losing opportunities to have more kids because we don't have a playground, because we don't have our own building. We are fortunate. I was smart enough to add in our ARP application during that CARES money to add transportation. So we do have our own bus. We contract with Ed at a bus, and we actually got a new bus last spring. We also have food program. We were recognized as a community eligibility provisional school last year, so we provide free breakfast, lunch, and snack for all our students. Continue that partnership, and we were very fortunate to develop that partnership with Bernalillo Public Schools. So they provide us our lunch service. But we are very excited for the move. Hope that we can wrap that into our new contract, our new charter, and include that increase in cap. So we are currently at a 280 cap, and we know we can serve more students from our community and the surrounding communities. We're hoping to, and the reason to do that is 1, serve more students from our community. 2, it would allow us to have 2 classrooms per grade level, K-8, and allow us to fill that space and continue to grow and continue to have funding so that we can expand our facilities, expand our offerings, and have provide more to our students as far as interventions and other things that we continue to see as successful in building up our school. At SABE, we truly are a family. Our kids are dropped off And we open the doors for them. Well, actually, Miss Wilder and Miss Farrell do. They're our morning teachers, but we go and help. And our kids are loaded into the cars at the end of their day if they're not going on the bus. And we strongly believe that it truly takes a village, and we're part of that village. We know our kids by name. We know our parents by cars if we don't know their names. But we absolutely, having a small school community has been wonderful for the efforts that we make and the things that we do.
Some of the other highlights, we are a full inclusion school. And again, making sure that we serve our students with special needs. So we are a full inclusion school. Like Ms. Rodriguez mentioned, we do have a lunch program and a breakfast program in partnership with Bernalillo Public Schools. We do provide transportation. We have intervention support in the students' dominant home language. So if we have students that are native Spanish speakers and are in need of intervention, we're able to provide that for them. We also have a social emotional curriculum that the teachers have access to best support our students. We provide before and after school programs with extracurricular options. We have a PTA, Parent Teacher Association, and also student leadership program, which we call our student ambassadors, which are, some of them are here this morning. And we also have parent councils that incorporate our equity council and other parent committees. We also have been able to have a parent liaison that helps us with providing families with community resources if needed. Some of our other highlights is that we also have an on-site counseling option. This is an outside community agency that uses some of our space to help support some of our students' emotional needs. We also have our family engagements night. This is Somos Sabe. It's a once a month evening event that we hold for parents, and the teachers have different activities that the parents visit different classrooms, and each month has a different theme that is addressed. We've also participated as a site for La Cosecha for the National Dual Language Conference. This is our second year that we've hosted a school visit. We are a professional learning community, so we meet regularly with the teachers to discuss student data. One of our pride and joy is we won first place in the film prize junior out of 180 some schools, and it was the first time we participated. So that was very exciting when we got the news about that. Also, National Schools Week Choice, we're a participant in that event. We had 2 Ben Ray Lujan fellows, and one of them is teaching kindergarten at our school at this year. We also have Wild Friends. Our student ambassadors are partnered with Wild Friends of New Mexico. And this is the second year that we participate with them. Also, we have a partnership with the Isotopes, Watermelon Ranch, and also our one of our community jujitsu resources. They come to the school and the students are able to participate in jujitsu as well.
Can you play the video?
Sabe is a unique place. Sabe is a unique place where students and families and parents come in and they feel that they're welcomed and loved and celebrated. The moment a child is dropped off, they are welcomed by one of our staff members. They are greeted with a buenos dias or a good morning. They are coming into a space they know where they'll be safe. They know that they are going to be learning.
I see my students with their energy, their curiosity, but mostly their potential.
What I like most about going to Sabe is that I can learn multiple languages
As the only dual language charter school in Rio Rancho, we offer the dual language option for students that don't have that option in the traditional schools.
The school arose directly from a need in the community, and now kids, they're all able to attain fluency in both languages due to the existence of SABE.
They're learning how to articulate their ideas, their words, their thinking in both languages. We are providing them with tools to be successful academically, but also out there in the real world.
SABE has kind teachers, and they teach 2 languages.
In New Mexico, there was a time when speaking Spanish was actively discouraged. To see us come back from that, I think that's very healing and encouraging and rewarding.
We can educate on the importance of bilingualism for all families, non-Spanish speaking families, Spanish speaking families, immigrants, non-immigrants, and just appreciate each other's culture and language and be proud of it.
It's not strictly just learning math and learning to read, write. We do that in 2 languages, but we also feel the importance of knowing the students' needs and that parents can call the school and ask for support.
Something that SABE does really well is to serve everyone and to serve everyone equally and to not discourage anyone from coming because they maybe need accommodations or they need transportation or they need help with meals.
Regardless of a student's current proficiency in either English or Spanish, they have a place at SABE. So it's a great home for heritage learners. It's a great home for enrichment learners. It's a great home for people learning Spanish. It's a great home for people learning English.
Well, I like how they teach me a lot, and my teacher helps me learn Spanish.
Our school community is very important, and building that has been one of the successes of SABE. I feel that raising a child should not be done alone, and the school should be a hub of where a family can reach out and say, hey, I need help with this.
Our students, they're just kind-hearted, respectful, inclusive.
It's happy kids, happy families, and biliterate and bilingual students. We have built a school that isn't traditional. Kids are not just another number. Kids are truly part of our family. And a child is not just a kid coming in to learn. A student is a student that we are developing into a wonderful little human being, and we want to foster the whole child, and that's from their health to their learning to their mental health and to their happiness and how they see themselves as a student and a future leader in our world and in New Mexico.
That is our presentation, and move to public comment.
Okay, for public comment, we do have 23 in the room. If you did not mean to sign up, that's okay. You can just let us know. Kids, please speak in a loud voice. You're speaking in a large room about this far from the microphone. 1 pen. The first person for public comment is Michael Rodriguez. And officially, there's a 2-minute limit.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the Commission. My name is Michael Rodriguez, Rodriguez. I'm the Executive Director for Dual Language Education of New Mexico. We're a local nonprofit that's been around for 23 years, and we specialize in providing support to SEAs, LEAs, and schools around the country in support of dual language and multilingual learner programming. We also host the National La Cosecha Dual Language Conference. We had it 3 weeks ago here in Santa Fe with over 3,000 educators, pre-K to 20 from around the country. With over 40 years of dual language research, we know, PD knows that there are no better programs than dual language when it comes to students being able to access their second language, whether it be English or Spanish, as well as retain their home language, culture, and identity. So with that, the three goals that Mrs. Reyes referenced, bilingualism, biliteracy, high academic achievement in 2 languages, and sociocultural competence are critical for students, and not to mention the many benefits of cognitive, being able to negotiate meanings, all those types of things that students gain from it as well. We've been involved with SABE for a number of years, and we've been providing professional development to them in this area. So we definitely stand in strong favor of their renewal for those reasons. And long-term dual language education is a long-term investment. And when I say investment, it's an investment both in programs like SABE, the students, and the future of our state. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, I have Michelle Owusu Nkawantabise.
Hello, my name is Michelle Wosun Quantabisa. How I spell my last name is OWUSUNKWANTABISAH. Why I like my school is because they have summer Sabbath nights and they teach me more English and Spanish. I also like it because they have lots and lots of friends. Teachers help me a lot. During math, Miss Crane helps me. During PE, Miss Wilder teaches me how to get stronger. Miss Violet helps me with the ukulele. When someone says stop and they don't stop, I tell the teacher and they will get in trouble. For example, they'll take recess. We do school dance, and that is why I like my school.
Thank you. Next, I have Tanya Anderson.
Hello, my name is Tanya Anderson, Anderson. One of the reasons why I like the school is the ability to tailor curriculum to specific student needs, the parent involvement and participation. For example, I'm a parent, I'm a substitute teacher, and I'm the PTA president at Summit. And I like the focus the school has on language immersion. Thank you.
Thank you. We also have a stand-up microphone for adults, if you prefer, sorry. Next, we have Ibrahim Morales.
Buenos días. Mi nombre es Ibrahim Morales, Morales, and I will be talking about why I love Sabe. I love Sabe because I can come to school every day feeling safe, knowing I have good teachers and good friends. Otra razón por que me amo a Sabe es porque estoy aprendiendo otra lengua diferente que me va a dar otras oportunidades en el futuro.
Thank you. Next, we have Elis Morales.
Buenos dias. My name is Elias Morales, and I will. Wait, would you guys like me to say how to spell my last name? Morales, and I will be talking about why I love my school. The teachers are nice, and I have good friends. I also learned a lot of Spanish, more math. We also have family nights. I like family nights. They have games to play, and parents meet the teachers. And also when it's October, we get to do trunk or treat.
Thank you. Next, we have, and I'm sorry if I mispronounce, is it Gerardo Gonzalez?
Good morning, commissioners. My name is Gerardo Gonzalez, Gonzales. My favorite thing about Sabe is the food, the teachers, and my school because it's very fun and it's bilingual.
Thank you. Next, I have Dylan Gonzalez.
Good morning, commissioners. Mi nombre es Dylan Gonzalez. Gonzales. My school is really fun, and my favorite thing about Sabe is that I'm not alone. I have brothers with me, and we have recess. And I also like my teacher from English and Spanish.
Thank you. Next, I have Layla Martinez.
Good morning, commissioners. Me llamo Laila Martinez, Martinez. I've been a student at Sabe for 6 years, and I have 2 siblings with me. Mi favorita cosa de Sabe es, es las grandes oportunidades que me ofrece y que es bilingüe. Sabe has helped me speak, write, and read my English and Spanish more fluently. Gracias a Sabe me ha ayudado también a ser más social, por eso elegí Sabe.
Thank you. Next, I have a last name Cerratos, so I'm not sure about the first name. Is it Jessica or Joe? If you could let us know.
Hi, my name is Josiah Cerratos. How to spell Cerratos is Serratos. I like about my school is that I have safe teachers and I know my school is safe. And I have lots of friends and we have good lunch. And I'm in 4th grade. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Katie Sandoval.
Hi, my name is Katie Sandoval, and you spell Sandoval Sandoval. I am a parent of 2 students for Sabe, one of them with the special needs, and one of them is in a regular class setting. I love Sabe just because it has provided a lot of support for my special needs students, and not only is it welcoming, but they also understand and take the time to listen to you at in anything that you might want to contribute. So given the opportunity to have a bilingual setting for my kids is definitely important, as I do have an older child, and he used to be in a bilingual setting. Moving him to a non-bilingual setting, he has lost his Spanish. So giving them that opportunity for all of our students is amazing. Thank you.
Next, we have Isaiah Cerratos.
Hi, my name is Isaiah Cerratos. I just spell Cerratos is Serratos. I like Sabe because I have recess and I have good teachers and I have a safe school.
Thank you. Next, we have Sandra Easton.
Where to begin? I can keep you here all day. I have an adopted son. His name is Talon. And when he reached Sabe, he had severe ADH and was throwing books at his old school and giving the teachers a hard time. And I had to pull out whatever little hair I have left. So eventually they told me to go to Sabe. And from day one, I never heard anything. 2 weeks later, 1 week later, I called Miss Reyes. I said, is he alive? Or has he damaged the classroom? And they said no. And from that day on, my son has flourished. I can't even begin to tell you. He graduated IEP. And the other day I went to his classroom and he read a whole long paragraph in Spanish. And I looked and I said, is this my son? And it is. And I am so thankful to these teachers. The one he has now is Miss Cruz. She's just absolutely a wonderful teacher. And then I've Ms. Rodriguez and Ms. Reyes have been so fabulous with him. He's not the same boy. He's growing up, and the one thing, I come from the old school where you say thank you and please. And he didn't even have to learn that from me. He got it from the teachers, and they are wonderful. I feel so safe with him there. So, and when 8th grade comes, I wish they had 12th grade. But we'll see what happens in the future. Thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you. Next, we have Rain Saracino.
Hello, my name is Rain Saracino, Sarracino. Some of the things that I like to do are Film Prize Junior. I like doing arts and crafts and stuff, and writing stories are one of my things that I like to do. So I love to cooperate with my friends and, share stories. Last year we did a documentary about New Mexico and what culture meant to New Mexico residents. This school lets me explore my creativity and curiosity for music. The teachers are always open for suggestions, and they encourage the creativity a lot of the kids have. The teachers genuinely care about us, and if you're having a hard time, they're always open to talking. This is a place I feel safe talking and communicating. Everyone here is very sweet, and
Thank you. Next, we have Javier Garcia.
Hi, my name is Javier Garcia. How you spell my last name is Garcia. And I love Sabe because you can make a lot of friends and you can read, and also you can learn about bugs.
Next, we have Anay Garcia.
Mi nombre es Anaí García, Garcia. Lo que a mí me encanta de esta escuela es que puedes aprender en los dos lenguajes, inglés y español. Puedes aprender algo nuevo cada día y también son bien respetuosos, cariñosos y amables uno al otro.
Thank you. Next, we have Nevea Saracino.
hello, my name is Nevaeh Saracino, Sarracino. I love my school because it's just been a really nice experience. I've created relationships with the people who work there, like my teachers. I get to talk to them. It's great. I love it. They understand me, and it's something that I enjoy. I enjoy talking to them. I enjoy learning from them, along with just everything at that school. One of the things that I'm a part of is ambassadors. I have been an ambassador for my whole middle school, and so 6th, 7th, and 8th. I've been there since 4th, so 5 years. And ambassadors has been a fun experience as well because I get to do not just learning but extra activities that support my school. I get to learn Spanish, and I get to do projects that my school makes possible. And they're not just about learning and supporting my school, but they are also fun activities to hang out with my friends, and I enjoy it a lot. Thank you.
Next, I have Franco Owusu Nkawantabisa.
Hola, mi nombre es Franco Uso Infantapisa. OWUSUNKWANTABISAH. Yo me gusta saber porque somos saber recreo, PE, música y investigar insectos como colilla y mariquita.
Thank you. Next, we have Sarah Farrell. Hi, my name is Sarah Farrell, Farrell. I'm the music teacher at Sabe. This is my 4th year and my 28th year of teaching. And I've been fortunate that all but 2 of my 28 years have been in bilingual education. And I really enjoy Sabe because it gives us the opportunity to ensure that our students don't, so many times when kids go to school, they learn that they should stop speaking their native language. And in our school, not only do they get to keep speaking it, but we encourage it and make sure that everybody knows that both languages or multiple languages, all languages and all cultures are vitally important. Thank you. Next, we have Salome Anderson.
Hola, mi nombre es Salome Anderson, and how you spell my last name is Anderson. Y what I like about Sabe es mi amigos y mi maestros, and how the school teaches me Spanish. That's all.
Thank you. Next, Daisy Romero.
Hello, my name is Daisy Romero. Today I'm going to talk about the bilingualism at Sabe. I have been at Sabe for about 8 years. Our classes are in Spanish and English. The reason I like it is because when I speak the Spanish at Sabe, it helps me connect to my family because I have like half of them are in Spanish, so it helps me connect with them. And it's also beneficial for my academic career in like the future because bilingualism helps a little more pay. Oh, and I'm sorry. My last name is Romero. Romero. Hoy va a hablar sobre el bilingüismo. Es muy diverso en Sabe. Ha estado en Sabe durante 8 años. Nuestras clases son español, inglés, la español que he aprendido y eso me ayuda a conectar con mis miembros de mi familia y podría ser beneficios en una futura carrera, por lo que estoy orgulloso de aprender español en Sabe. Gracias.
Thank you. Next, we have Talon Easton.
Hello, my name is Talon Easton, Easton. I am 11 years old and have been in Sabe since first grade. Sabe also has improved my social skills to make more friends. And one reason why I like Sabe very much is because the teachers are kind, considered, and helpful.
Thank you. Next, we have Jasmine Garcia.
Hello, my name is Jasmine Garcia, Garcia. And what I like about Sabe is that it's a very welcoming place. It helps you feel like you're part of the family. It has taught me how to keep my language, which is Spanish, and it has helped me not forget my language. Y por eso puedo leer y escribir en español. Y casi toda mi familia, o parte de mi familia, no sabe tanto español. Y por Sabe, nosotros sí pudimos aprender el español muy bien y hablarlo muy bien.
Thank you. Last but not least on our list is Christy Herrera.
Hi, my name is Christy Herrera. It's Herrera. I've been a part of the Sabe Familia for 7 years now. Sabe has been more than a school for both my son and myself. It has been a home. As the son of an immigrant father and a New Mexican mother, my son found a place where he could embrace and take pride in his full identity. At Sabe, he didn't feel self-conscious about being different as he might have at a traditional school. Instead, he developed a sense of pride in his ability to speak 2 languages. At Sabe, my son has incredible bilingual role models from diverse backgrounds who reflect his own experiences and remind him every day that his upbringing isn't something to hide, it's something to stand up and be proud of. He found a place where he could thrive and a community that welcomed and supported us every step of the way. What makes Sabe so special is that it means something different to every family. For some, it's about preserving a language and strengthening connections with family. For others, it's about finding the care and attention their child didn't receive at a traditional school. It's amazing to hear each family's story and see how the school has impacted every student, family, teacher, and staff member who walks through its doors. Sabe is about creating a true sense of belonging. It is a place where students become compassionate, curious, and culturally aware individuals. Over the past 10 years, Sabe has stayed true to its mission of bilingual education. What has grown from that is a passionate community that stands behind the mission and implements it every day. Sabe continues to provide a home for bilingual individuals, English learners, and Spanish learners alike, proving that everyone has a place there. I'm proud to be part of a school that celebrates every child, every family, and every culture. Sabe is a family, and it's a vital part of our community.
Thank you. And one more.
Buenos días, mi nombre es Isa Morales. Yo amo Sabe porque mis maestras son amables. Yo amo Sabe porque tengo amigos especiales. Yo amo Sabe porque yo aprendo de los animales.
Thank you. Today, I'm also grateful for my bilingual education. That concludes public speaking. Thank you. Comment.
I just want to say thank you.
Microphone, please. Microphone.
Commissioner Beck. I'll see you.
Yeah, what a beautiful last half hour. Hour. Sorry, you guys are good too, but the last half hour has been pretty amazing. I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, and I took French as a foreign language, right? And how many times do I wish I would have taken Spanish? I feel humbled and inadequate compared to your students who do a remarkable job. And it's just so much fun to see all the very different kind of charter schools we have and how hard they work and how meaningful their work is. It's really, it reminds me why I did this in the first place, for sure. Beautiful, great stuff. I love your mission goal. I think that's great. I love that not only is it directed toward what your school means, but also it's quantifiable. One of the things that I have a hard time with in many mission goals is they tend to be nebulous, or they, they're qualitative, or, feel good or something like that. This really is something that you can sink your teeth into and know the status of how well you're doing. So I really appreciate the thought that went behind 5 years ago, I guess, with Chair Gibson, the mission goal you did. It's wonderful. I got a few questions. Obviously, you're somewhat challenged in the math side. And you mentioned in your presentation that you do math on the English side, but not on the Spanish side. Is there a reason why you wouldn't incorporate math in the Spanish side?
It's based on our population.
Okay.
A majority of our students are English dominant. So when I first came in during our first term, we were a different model, immersion model. We were a 90-10 model, and we opted to go to a 50-50 dual immersion model for three reasons. One was lack of staffing. Second was I was a teacher and coordinator within the district, the traditional district, where we started a dual language program. And the desire was to have a 50-50 model rather than 90-10. And when we recognized the number of students that were English dominant, we saw the advantage of teaching math in English. However, that is some of the work that we hope to do when we have the funds to be able to do some translanguaging and some bridging support with our teachers in how we're supporting our Spanish speakers with their math skills, because that is a definite opportunity that we are missing out on.
Great.
But like I said, some of our challenges is fiscally, is having enough money to do all that we know we need to do. We do have our professional learning community time where we have our teachers do some collaboration. Our hope is to continue to build that up so that we can have those conversations of what's working for you, what do students need, especially when we're looking at the bridging of the two languages in all content areas, so that students, regardless of what language they're coming in, they're able to have that bridging support.
Well, you just brought up my second question, which is, how is your PLC or your professional development or your collaboration structured? How does that look like?
Prior to the change in hours, it was every Friday. So we had early release on Fridays prior to last year. And we still do, but it's changed some. So we had 2 hours every Friday that we had our PLC time, our team time is what we call it, because together everybody achieves more. But we had that time scheduled for PLC time, which was looking at data, really building that framework. It takes time to build that framework and really get the buy-in from teachers. When we had to extend our days due to the new regulation, we had to cut that into that time. So the way we structure it now is 2 Fridays out of every month, our teachers stay till 4:30 and leave at 2:30 their other days, so that we have a 2-hour chunk.
Do you do that by grade level? Is that how you're structured with that?
We did in years past. We did a K-1-2 team, 3.
Originally it was like kindergarten, like by grade levels, but then we found that because we have such a small staff, it's K1 and then 2, 3, and then because we have single teachers, like teaching both English and Spanish in a grade, so it's 4th through 8th grade. But now it's K2, 3, 5, and then middle school. So we look at what the needs of our staff and the kids are, and that way they can collaborate a little bit more. So we have changed it depending on what the needs of the school are.
Yeah, and that has been a huge challenge because we've essentially taken away time to those efforts, and trying to still maintain what's a traditional district and times and salaries, all of that kind of shifts us to be creative. But we do dedicate that time 2 Fridays a month, while the other 2 Fridays are in exchange for time. Additionally, teachers have common planning time with their grade level team.
Good.
So they'll have music and PE. So during that time, they have the
Then they can get
opportunity
together.
to do planning. It's not really scripted by administration. It's kind of left to them. But definitely building, and every year is different because you get a new teacher or extra support staff or extra staff that we need to build them up back to that. But PLC is one of our efforts to address the lack of funding or lack of time for the amount of professional development that we know we all need, us as administrators as well. So we use the strength in our team, the experience of our team, the strategies of the team, and really looking at assessment and building it from there.
Yeah, I was a teacher for 13 years at India High School, and there's a huge difference between quantity of time and quality of time. I'm not so concerned about quantity of time. I'm more concerned about quality of time. It seems like you got that. On the VISTA reports and the early literacy assessment results, the state average for K through 2 early literacy was 34.6% proficient, and you guys were 5.5% proficient. Do you have any idea why you had?
Was that this year's?
That was this year's. That was this year's. Do you have any idea why that was so challenging? Vistas we take with a grain of salt. We've seen some weird numbers come out of Vistas, but I was wondering if you had any thoughts on that or
The only thing we
now, let me
can,
know. I'll check and make sure that's correct.
and I don't have it in front of me, my
I
apologies.
got, I do. Let me see, toggle table. Wait a minute. No, hold on, wrong school. You guys did great.
Yeah, we were
You guys did great. 17.5% New Mexico, 27.7 Sandoval bilingual. I applaud you. I don't applaud myself, but I applaud you. And one other quick question on, you talked about that you interact a lot with the Pueblos, the Santa Ana and all that, but yet in your enrollment by subgroup, you have very, very small subgroup of Native American Indigenous.
We've had a number of families that come to us. And I remember our first years, we had a student from Santa Ana, was a student who had an IEP as well. And I think it's the sense of family, that we truly know our families and they are open about their circumstances or situations. In that case, very supportive with the educational team from the Pueblo, support of the governor's office and the parents and special, the social workers that were supportive of that student's IEP. But we have also some students from Jemez Pueblo, and it's by choice that they come to our school. We do have a number of Hawaiian students, and there's a family from Navajo family who's been part of our Somos Sabe nights and who actually in the kindergarten program last year was part of their Somos Sabe, the parent night, and read a book in Dene and spoke about their traditions. So, and that just kind of goes to who we are as a culture of a school, is that parents, and they hear about us. You know, we constantly hear from families that come to us, both students that have IEPs, because we have a very high success rate with our students in our inclusion model, and students from other communities that come knowing that the education is different and supportive of their culture. And I think that's a huge reason.
It says here in the Part A renewal that 1% of your population is Native American. So
Prior to COVID, it was a little bit higher, but because of COVID, that's when we started seeing the decrease. And some of the families actually came back after COVID.
Last quick question. What's Wild Friends?
It's an organ, and the girls can probably speak to it better than I can. It's part of our student ambassador group. They advocate for some wildlife preservation.
World Wildlife Federation? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so through our
Oh.
Yeah, through our student ambassador group, that's one of the activities they take part in. And we actually had 2 students through our ambassadors program with Wild Friends advocate for the program at the legislature last year.
I had a completely different visual of what I thought Wild Friends was, so I appreciate I appreciate you letting me know that. Okay, thank you. Wonderful stuff. Wonderful. And kids, thank you so much. Gracias. That's what gracias. It was beautiful. So thank you.
Commissioner Carrillo.
Thank you as well. So I was just, I mean, I took whatever 3 years of Spanish in high school and 2 years in college, and I didn't use it very much. And I remember going to when my son went to Peru, and I tried my best, and he said, "Dad, it's pathetic." I said, "Well, at least I'm trying." So, muchas gracias a los niños por hablando nuestra comisión. Was that okay? All right.
I have no idea.
So anyway, clearly you serve a nice lunch. So what do you do? I mean, but there's singling out lunch as being a favorite. What do you do that's different or wonderful?
We're, Commissioner Carrillo and Chair, we are fortunate. The first year I went in, I made a great connection with the director of nutrition with Renewal Public Schools. We contract with them, and we have since then. They're a huge supporter of the school as far as nutrition. That's the department we work with, but we've had a continued partnership with them since I came in 2017. We literally kicked off for the Thanksgiving meal in November, and it's been great ever since. We're one of their summer seamless summer option sites during the summer. They provide meals to our students during the holidays as part of one of their site programs. And I would just go off, too bad they're not here and listening, but they are a true model of scratch kitchen, fresh made foods, and the kids know it. Their favorites are my favorites too, Frito Pie Day, and anytime they have the fresh bread.
Oh my gosh, that sounds great. So,
They built around the community as well. That the menu is really, their menu is developed around the community as well.
that's wonderful to hear, that partnership. Is that how you handle transportation? Is the partnership with the district?
No, we partner with Bus, so we contract directly with Bus.
Okay.
Mhm.
All righty. Cool. Have you applied for our special project grant yet? Excellent. You'd be surprised how many schools, they just saw another email from the PEC and didn't answer, and now they're like, oh. No, I'm so glad that you're taking advantage of that. Very happy to hear about full inclusion as your methodology, and then on-site counseling, that you have that in the budget, and that's very a priority for you. Can you, and actually maybe she would like to, was it Isabel Saracino? Did I get the first name right? Was it Isabel? On the ambassador side, to tell us a little bit more about what the ambassador program is.
So, from the things that I've done as an ambassador for the 3 years that I've been in the middle school, it's a lot, and it's really fun. We've done some fundraisers, right? Some fundraisers that include food for holidays, along with just giving out candy for Valentine's Day. Instead of calling it Valentine's Day, we say Friends Month, Kindness Month, and it's really fun. You get to go to places which like the La Cosecha. You got to represent your school. You also got to learn by going to a few classes that in my opinion, found very fun. So as an ambassador, I enjoy it because I can, one, support my school, two, just have fun with my friends, three, make connections with the principal because she's a big part of it as well, along with my teachers who also help with it. And with Wild Friends, it's another thing. You get to go to places like this, even the Roundhouse, and you get to talk to legislators, and it's just so fun because some people be like, oh, they're like, it'd be so scary talking to them, and then you talk to them and just like, oh, they're so sweet, like they're just normal people, like you just realize that. And I enjoy it a lot, getting to go around my school and then have kids see me and they're like, oh my gosh, I want to do that. That sounds so cool. Or, oh, I want to support my school. Oh, I want to talk about my school, all this and that, you know?
and I enjoy it a lot.
Thank you very much. No, and I imagine you represent your school very well when you're across the street at the Roundhouse and certainly here. And we're not a scary bunch. I don't think we're a scary bunch anyway. Yeah. And, you know, I don't have a lot of questions about what you do. I'm very, you know, it's funny, not kind of funny how funny, but sometimes I'm skeptical, especially more at the high school level in districts, of different bilingual programs, the bilingual seal, and I mean, it's something that's prestigious to have, but then I've always questioned, are they getting, this is at the high school level, is there fidelity to the program and to the language, and are they really, you know, getting what they need in terms of the academic instruction? But what I'm hearing here, because it's starting at, you know, at the early levels, and I'm so just happy that all of you kids came to see us, that you're kind of laying the groundwork in a much more foundational way. So there's the dual language success and tri-language success, because there could be the native language, but then also Spanish and English. So kudos.
Commissioner Carrillo, if I can add, we are in the process of developing a committee for the biliteracy seal for our 8th grade students and possibly for our 5th grade students. Well, 2 reasons is one, to have our students be able to celebrate their bilingualism, but definitely aligned to what you're saying, that they are truly bilingual and biliterate. You know, Miss Easton did speak to, I wish we can do K-12. That would be an ideal situation, but you know, we feel it's important to recognize the efforts of even our kinder through 5th grade and our kinder through 8th grade, of those students that truly are bilingual and can take that to the high school level with them as well.
If I just may add something, one of the things that we forgot to mention is that we do student-led conferences from kinder through 8th grade. And so they're basically data presentations. So the kids are very familiar with their own assessment scores and such, but they also were able to present in both English and Spanish to their parents and show what they're learning. Instead of just the teachers talking about what the kids are learning, the kids actually got to show their parents. For the last 2 years, we've been doing this, and they do it in both languages when they meet with their parents to present their data.
That's fantastic. Just in terms of building their self-confidence and self-esteem, and that's huge, because you take that, you know, after 8th grade, and when you've developed those skills of speaking publicly to a group, looking people in the eye when you shake their hand, things like that, those soft skills, we call them sometimes, goes a very long way. So thank you for doing that as well. I don't really have any questions about, you know, your finances or anything else. I see just a sea of green in all the different categories, which we love. You're never on our agenda, and so that's always a good sign. So thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
I'll just echo, thank you once again. I too, 4 years of high school Spanish and 3 years of college, and taught in a school that I was able to practice it a little bit in the school that I taught in. I went to a governance council meeting not that long ago, and the majority of the families were Spanish speaking. And the one clear message I got out of that was they hated the lunch. I mean, by and large, every one of them.
No.
I didn't need to know much. They hated that lunch, and it was provided by the local school district. So, great that the school district is, I think, being a little more thoughtful in preparing what students are familiar with and comfortable with, and recognizing and helping to celebrate their cultures. I don't think ours is as well. So thank you for that. I just wanted to talk a little bit more about the build, or it's not really not a build, but the move. So like 5 years from now, what do you see that looking like?
I already have a phase 2 in mind, building out for middle school program and multi-purpose room to serve as a PE room, stage area, gym area. But ultimately, the amount of space that we have currently will house a kinder through 8th grade program. Tight, but we will need to expand to fully house that request of 380 students. Is it 360? But we a playground. Again, we're in a great location. It's really close to law enforcement, so we have some advantages of being there. It's more central Rio Rancho. We will continue to advocate and put our word out there for some of the residents of Albuquerque that areas we haven't tapped into to increase our enrollment. But probably a phase 2, and I think that would serve a great size school. Those are the only 2 things we're lacking, is probably more classrooms and a great multipurpose room.
Okay, so is there any thought about pre-K?
Yes, absolutely. That's in the classrooms are already built out for 2 pre-K classrooms,
Okay.
and will be applied to the grant once that becomes available.
Right.
Yeah, we considered it even starting it early because the building will actually be available in February. But because the way the grant runs, we'll have to wait till
pre-K
next school year.
grant.
Pre-K grant, yes.
Yeah, yeah, and you have to have time, I guess, for the build up for the playground.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, because I know there's separate,
Yep.
a lot of separate playground requirements with the real tiny tykes. So, so thanks for that. And when you say building out, does that mean physically having to add on
Yes.
to that? Okay.
Yeah. Add additional structure. Correct.
Okay. All right. Thanks. That's all I have.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Sure.
And it's great to be able to hear from the student. So, Rain Saracino, you mentioned Film Prize, and would you want to come up and, because I'm curious as to what that program is. And I know I'm totally calling you out. You weren't ready for this. And I'm very grateful that you're coming up.
You can go here by me.
Well, Film Prize, they have different categories of what films you can make, which gives the students a lot of like different things to make films about and expand their creativity towards things. Like I said, last year we did a documentary. This year we wanted to do animation because a lot of the students love drawing. And like my sister, she loves drawing. She draws all the time. She's been drawing since she was little. Some of the other schools also do acting, and they just create their own stories and share stories. There's comedy ones, thriller ones, documentaries, a whole bunch load of things. And I saw a couple of them, and they're really nice.
That's cool. So this is something that all the different schools, if they have students that want to participate, can participate in this?
Yeah, there's I think there's a high school one, and then there's middle school.
Is that why this is called Film Prize Junior? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's really cool. I didn't know that this went on in schools, and I'm certainly happy that you're in that program and doing well in it. So thank you very much.
Brown.
Great. Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, team. Thank you, Ms. Reyes and Ms. Rodriguez. The commissioners already shared a lot of the good graces, and I didn't want to take up our time before lunch, especially for the kiddos, since they need to get back hopefully and have some of that beautiful lunch. Probably not today, but I just want to just share that we have so many charter schools that start from a place of deep personal connection to a problem in our educational system. And we talk about a lot of our other schools who when we see this, and the uniqueness of your school does that same exact thing. And because sometimes we are a very larger majority Hispanic slash potentially quote unquote Spanish speaking community, I think it kind of goes unaddressed, and heritage becomes the norm for many of our students who have that specific background. And so I think that what you all do, sometimes it could potentially go under the radar in terms of the uniqueness and the importance. And then when we see these young children and our future leaders, like come up and speak with such clarity and confidence, and courage, it's just it's a beautiful thing to see that, and we need more of these opportunities. And so, thank you so much for all that you do. It's really awesome to see. Not that the red, yellow, green thing matters everything to us, but it's great to see not just everything is in green, but the story of having a couple of different colors at the beginning of this cycle, um, through now, there's a clear growth that's happened, as well as within your your proficiency scores, and to think about how beautiful it is to think about our young people. And again, I'm monolingual, even though I'm like many of the other commissioners. I actually my undergrad actually got placed on the Spanish speaking floor. I don't know why this Appalachian kid was in with a bunch of kids from Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic, but that's where they put me when I transferred in. And I learned so much Spanish through almost an immersion experience, right? Um, and I just think about how beautiful it is to see our young people not just speaking, but reading off of their papers. I think that's just like a beautiful thing. And thinking about how they're reading and speaking and writing in both languages is such a great thing. So I just wanted to make sure that it didn't go unannounced, because it is, in the state that we live in, it almost feels like a given, and we know it's not. We know it's not, no matter what the efforts are happening to do so. The one thing I just think about, and this is probably, I always think about this when I see you come up. I wonder how we can get some type of bilingual seal for like elementary school as well, and middle school, and not just for the high school level, but there is an opportunity, just like, sometimes students you can even start taking like Algebra 1, right, in 7th grade now, probably, right? And you can fulfill a lot of your requirements. I wonder what it would mean to like think about, and maybe that's possible already, I don't know.
It is,
But
yeah.
okay, but I just think about like how that could be so awesome to have like our young students like become bilingual sealed, if that's the noun that we use, early and frequent.
Yeah, and thank you, Commissioner. And to add, there is that option, so we are pursuing that. Additionally, there is another charter school, but I don't think they're state authorized, that actually they do AP classes for 8th graders, so that they have a Spanish credit or even more that they go into high school with. So I pick that director's brain all the time, and we're friends and colleagues, so we absolutely talk about our schools and the comparisons and differences and challenges and all of it. So absolutely. Thank
So
you.
awesome. And it sounds like that's your goal for your contract negotiations, 2025. I'm just kidding. Thank you for that. That's really awesome.
Thank you. So I move that the Public Education Commission approve the renewal application for the Sandoval Academy of Bilingual Education for a 5-year term without conditions. There's a motion by Commissioner Gibson and a second by Commissioner Carrillo.
Chair
Commissioner Beck?
Gibson. Chair Gibson.
Yes.
Vice Chair Carrillo. Yes. Commissioner Ingham.
Yes.
Commissioner Klasha-Sillage.
Yes.
Commissioner Burt. Commissioner Manus.
Yes.
Commissioner Brower.
Yes.
Commissioner Taylor. Yeah, she already said. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 votes for and no votes against. The motion passes. Congratulations. Thank you, everybody who came.
Thank you, Commissioners.
So we are paused till 2 o'clock.